It's officially spring. Has spring sprung? So I'll I'll give you guys like a minute or two, see if y'all come in, and if you don't, that's fine too. But hopefully you can hear me. Trying this whole mic thing out actually. So, but I'll just wait a minute or two, and then I'll get started. Hey, Bianca. Hey, Bianca. Good to see you. I was just giving it a couple minutes before I started. Oh, good to see you too. All right. So, this is going to be like a weird, well, I'm from the Netherlands. Did you mean Netherlands? When you said, did you mean Netherlands? Okay. I just want to make sure. No worries. I was just like, Netter. Nice. All right. So, it's okay. It's, it's all right. So, I wanted to share with you some stuff. And obviously, the title. Hey, Maggie. Good hair day. It's kind of the the humidity is not helping. The humidity is not helping at all. But I brought my hat just in case. Just in case all else fails. We're hoping that the we're hoping for the best. Though, I never really got into hairspray all that much. Even when I was, in the military and had to tie my hair up all the time. So, I don't know. If you have any recommendations on hairspray, let me know. Okay, so 5 5 minutes in, man. So, I wanted to jump on here and, talk to you all about what happens when you transition. What happens when you're no longer on this physical plane, when you're no longer, um, I guess you could say, some people call it dying, death. Your body is dying. So, that's why I wanted to jump on here, and I've been thinking about doing a live like this for quite a while, actually. Um, on a more serious note, Maggie, my hair is straight no matter what. Doesn't like to bend, was always too slippery for hair things. I'm old, just live with whatever hair you have. Yeah, yeah. I used to really hate my curly hair for quite a while, and now I embrace it because I feel like no matter what I do to it, no matter what I do to it, it doesn't matter. But I'm not here to talk about my hair, okay? I'm trying to stay on topic as it is. Tenny, your hair is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet. But yeah, I guess we have the same hair type. Wild and crazy and free. Wild and crazy and free, huh? Um, Hi Octo. Bianca, you are beautiful. Your hair is amazing. Thank you. I'm not here to talk about my hair though. But you guys are very sweet. Very sweet. Tenny, you just know how to deal with it better than me. Honestly, I wouldn't know how to deal with it if I lived in a more tropical setting, to be honest. I would not know how to deal with it, especially if you live in places like what is it? Like Florida. You live in places like Florida in the United States, right? And you're hit as soon as you step out, like the humidity just hits you in the face. But certain places are like I just like that, and your hair is just so. By the way, separate topic actually, because I'm gonna get into Tenny. Ew, I lived in Florida for a little bit. Luckily, had a job where I needed a cap and hair up. Yes, I lived in Florida too. I lived in Florida too. It's a it's a interesting place with tons of humidity. So, so I kind of want to I wanted to come on here and, I had a thought actually the other day, and the thought is, like how when like you're channeling and stuff, right? Like you're channeling a message, and I guess this just applies to like mediums and psychics and stuff like that. Like you're channeling a message when you're burping, okay? Because I've talked to other channelers, and they're like, yeah, if you're burping, you're channeling a message. And I'm just like, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, well, what about when you fart? Does that mean you're full of shit? I was just like, I couldn't help that one. Hey Beth. Hey Beth, how are you? Good to see you. You know? So that was one of my thoughts on channeling, because burping is like burping is just like it's going good. It's going good. I was trying to stay on topic, but 12 minutes in, and I haven't started yet, so you haven't missed much. But everything's good, Beth, and we're glad that you're good too. So I wanted to jump on here. I wanted to jump on live. I wanted to jump on here and talk about what happens, what happens after, what happens when, what happens when we quote unquote die. What happens when you are no longer alive, when you're no longer, when you're no longer alive, when your body dies. And it's so, there's a lot of, before I start talking about this, and you all can say what you want, seriously, say what you want, but it's a pretty heavy ordeal. It just got really quiet all of a sudden. The birds just stopped chirping. But so, what happens when you die? We all want answers. Well, there's a quote, actually. I want to start with this before I start talking about this. There's a quote actually I saw the other day. Um, to study philosophy is to is nothing but to prepare oneself for death. To study philosophy is to prepare oneself for death. Because when we are born, We're born into this environment where we have nothing but our bodies. We have nothing but our vessels. And when you're born, it's almost similar to when your vessel is dying. It's almost similar, but not the same. Hi, Albir and user. But it is almost the same. Of when you are born and also when you are leaving and you're going to another place. When you're dying, when your vessel is dying, it is almost the same thing, but it is not the same thing because in logical sense you're being born, so therefore you're not dying, but the transition from being born to dying is literally the same thing. That's the first thing that I want to say. And it also brings me back to that quote: to study philosophy is nothing but to prepare oneself to die. So at every waking moment of your existence right now, you are being prepared for the end. I don't know if some of you realize this, but you are preparing yourself for death. Death, okay? I'm going to get into that here in a second, but you are preparing yourself to die. And I will give you an example. Well, I'll give you an example, and it is kind of like a story, but not really a story, I guess. I don't know. So, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Killing me. Bianca going like this. I don't know. Um on a side note though, I will say this is the first time I've ever been actually really prepared for a live stream. Like never before. I got here at my spot and I was on time. All right. So every moment of your life is preparing you for something. It is preparing you for leaving, right? And I'm going to go back to the preparation aspect of it. That you're being prepared for. I just remember, I remember taking care of my mother while she was going through her transition. And recalling having the skills to take care of her. Because several years before all of that happened, I remember feeling drawn to a particular job, thinking, "Oh, this is the career for me. This is what I see myself doing." And the career is being a CNA. I was a CNA for a few years, certified nursing assistant. And this was way before I decided to join the military and all that. But at that particular moment, I felt very drawn to um, that particular career field at that particular moment. I said, I see myself doing this for a long time, or, I felt drawn to it, right? But needless to say, it was a career field that was preparing me for the loss of a parent. And if I didn't have those skills, fast forward to a few years when my mother was on hospice and I needed those skills to take care of her. I needed those skills to take care of her. And I had them. Because if it wasn't for that job opportunity, if it wasn't for that particular moment or instance of being part of that career field, I guess you could say a job. Do we ever really have jobs? Okay. But what I'm trying to say is at every given moment, at every moment in your life is preparing you for what happens after you leave, after you go. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna jump around a little bit too because I know how I tell you guys how I channel and how I share these instances and moments and these um, revelations. I do it through stories. I know that's how I talk about certain things, and that's how I share certain inspirations and also certain things with you all. So I want to fast forward a little bit more now. Um, kind of when I first started getting into YouTube and started getting into mediumship and also tarot, because tarot was a huge part of my life. I feel like up until, um, I mean, it's still, I still like to pull tarot every once in a while, but um, tarot was a very good tool for my first moments of truly getting into spirituality, mediumship, and all of that. But I remember doing a reading, I want to say a year before my mother transitioned. A year before, actually, no, not a year, 2 years before she transitioned, a year before she was diagnosed. And we were at this beautiful setting, and we were at this park, and there was a picnic table that was there. And I kept telling her, I said, "Mom, this is really what I want to do. This is really this is something that I really want to pursue. I want to really um, practice my gifts and stuff." And at first she was all like, "No, don't do that. Stay in the military. Stay in the military. Do your 20 years. Do your time and get out." And I had my cards with me, and we were at this park, and she said, "Okay, well, why don't you just do a reading for me?" And I said, "Okay, I'll do a reading for you." Oh, my throat chakra is going out right now. Um, we were sitting there and I was pulling cards for her, and all of a sudden I had this cold chill from the top of my head down to my spine. And as I was doing the reading, I had this massive visualization of a gate and a giant mansion and you know a fancy car, and I had like this huge image in my mind's eye. And i and at first i just I didn't think anything of it. I said, "Oh, money is coming." And like, I just, even though the message was definitely very clear back then, it was like, that is where she was going to end up. That was where she was going to be. And I didn't realize that back then. I didn't realize that was the message of her transitioning. And that was back when I didn't really realize what I was channeling, what message I was channeling. It's like back when, that was a long time ago. That was back when I kind of first started getting into um, channeling and messages and stuff like that. But that was where she was going. That was a place where she was going. That's all I can say to that extent, because that's really what it is. But also, just because you're not here anymore, you're not here, right? You don't have this body anymore, doesn't mean that you're not here anymore. You're not here, if that kind of makes sense. And you don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to be an intuitive. You don't have to be any of those things to understand that there is a spiritual world, or that there is just something that happens when we're not in this vessel anymore. If that kind of makes sense. Hey, Karen. So, the transition aspect of it Hey, Karen. The transition aspect of it can be painful, but it also depends on your circumstances. What is your vessel dying of? What is your physical body dying of? So it can be painful. Um, so the other thing I want to say too is while it is happening, while your body is transitioning, while you are, I guess you could say, dying, there are some things that do happen, and it also, again, depending on your circumstances, what your body is dying from. So if your body is dying from cancer, toxic, I want to say toxins. Oh my God, I can't talk. Toxins. If your body is dying from, uh, a car crash, which could, I'm burping again, which could kill your body instantly, obviously kill your vessel instantly. The transition is different. Okay, the transition to the other side is different, and it's different for everyone. um so for those who are who for the vessels that are transitioning, the bodies, people, for those who are transitioning due to cancer, aka I'm going to call it toxins, because we ingest a lot of toxins, including myself. There are moments where your girl aura slips and I get toxins too. Anyways, so I want to say, if your body is dying because of cancer, right? Toxins. The transition aspect of it is going to be different for you depending on your circumstances. Now I'm going to go back to a story, because this is how this is how I try to tell you. This is how, I don't know, this is how I communicate with you guys, through stories. Um so days before, I want to say, my mom was transitioning, I could feel the veil getting so thin. I could feel I could feel it even in the next room. And I could tell that she was ready to go days before it was happening. And I guess you could say, it was kind of like her soul was hanging out in the area where she was, but it couldn't leave just yet. It's just like her soul could not leave. And I remember, while I was taking care of her, I was in the next room. I was in the next room over, and I could hear pacing back and forth, pacing. And there was just no way that she was walking. I'm sorry, but there was absolutely no way that she was up and walking around. And it was almost like someone was in that room. Can you guys still hear me? I don't know what happened. Got to disconnect. But I quickly got up and she was still in okay, just checking. So she was still in her bed. Hey, Fleck. She was still in her bed. Hey, Maggie. Okay, good. She was still in her bed and everything was still the same. Like nothing had changed. And this was like, I want to say this was a couple of days before she actually transitioned. And while your body is getting ready to transition, and once again, it depends on your circumstances. It depends on why your body is transitioning as well, I want to say. But she was outside of her body a few times, pacing back and forth. It's kind of like, it's time to go. And it also felt like there's this revelation. It's like, this is what you're leaving behind. This is what you are leaving when you go. But don't worry. It's like, don't worry. It's okay. They're going to be okay. So, where do we go when it's all said and done? Where do we go? I'm going to tell you probably when I did that reading for my mother, and there's this huge gate and a fence and a huge mansion. In all actuality, we go to our own little heavens. That is where we go to. We go to our own heavens. The heavens could be um, what we desire. So for me, I mean, hanging out in a forest, like this would be heaven for me. This would be absolute heaven. I guess for my mother, for her, it was a huge mansion, a really tall gate that screens who comes in and out of it, who comes in and out of her home. Really nice car. But have you ever I'm going to throw this in there too. Have any of you seen, I'm going to reference a movie now. I'm sorry, but I am going to reference a movie now. Um have any of you seen the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams? Have any of y'all seen that movie? Bianca, no. Maggie, yes. If you haven't, I definitely Fleck, no, but I've heard of it. If you haven't, I definitely kind of recommend it. I definitely recommend it. And the reason being is because I guess I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. Yes, it's also a book. I haven't read the book, but I watched the movie. Um, I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of what I'm saying is kind of um, portraying that as well. It's kind of like going to a place that feels like that your soul feels like peace. And when you go there, it's like you're welcomed with your family members that are on the other side. And a lot of these family members help you transition. Well, they help with the transition once you're on the other side, if that kind of makes sense. Maggie already knows what I'm talking about, probably. So, but that's pretty much kind that's where I'm pushing this. It's not exact. I wouldn't say it's exactly like that movie where you're inside of a painting. Maybe, maybe not. I guess you could say limitless. It's kind of like a choice. It is dead quiet out here. I almost want to scream from the rooftops right now because of how quiet. Like the birds just stopped chirping. Like the birds stopped chirping. And I'm looking behind me. Maggie Smith, we can make our own hell. We are the only ones that judge us in the end. We make our own hell. Yes. 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 I don't want to get too personal because I want to protect a lot of, I want to protect, certain people. I don't want to get too personal. Um, but I will say for the ones that choose to end their life suddenly, they are very, it's like they're constantly apologizing on the other side. I don't know how else to explain it, but I have had a few people commit suicide, and I've had several reach out to me from the other side, constantly reach out to me. And a few of them I was close with, a few of them I drifted apart from. I had several reach out to me and communicate. And it's almost like if they don't make this, if they don't make this communication known, it's kind of like the communication will just keep happening. They'll keep trying to reach out to say what they need to say to you. I know a lot of people will say differently. They have, they go to a place and it's torture and it's this and it's that. That may be so because they've created their own they've created their own instance of hell before leaving this earth, before transitioning. So the transition for them is much different than for those who are sick with cancer and those who pass suddenly, like for Charlie Kirk, for instance. Um, it's the transition aspect of it is the same, but it's also different, I guess you could say. And also the other thing is where we go sometimes, it also depends on who we're leaving behind. Are we leaving a loved one behind that we were very close to? We were very, we had this unbreakable bond with. But the truth is, a lot of times family members end up turning into guardian angels, spirit guides for very close family members, kind of like a protector as well. On the other side, it may be sunshine and rainbows, but you're still like, how do I say this? It's almost like you are doing something on the other side as well. It's almost like you're working to something on the other side as well. Committed to something. And I guess in our vessels too, it's like it's not like a 9 to 5. It's not like doing something like that where you have a 9 to 5 and you have to like work a 9 to 5. Who is this person in my life? Holy moly. The first troll in 50 minutes. First troll. First troll. Can y'all still hear me? Yeah, I I set the live to like have only people that are subscribed to um okay, good. I just wanted to make sure y'all could still hear me. I just I set the live stream to have only certain to basically have only subscribers in here. So yeah, I don't know what happened with that. Someone slipped through the cracks. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how that happened. Somebody slipped through. Maggie, I blocked someone last live. I was here. Yeah. Trolls, I guess. I mean, I did pretty good, 50 minutes, and didn't have a lot of trolls coming in before. Flag, it's okay, we got them. Okay, good. Good. Um, Bianca. Oh, Bianca, you're so sweet. So, the other thing that I want to tell you guys as well is there really is no no such um, Maggie Smith, trolls everywhere. I worked in psych, just don't engage with them. Yeah, there are trolls all over the internet. And a lot of times we call them keyboard warriors. Um, but so the other thing I was going to say is that there's no there's no such thing as death when you really think about it. And I know people are going to say, yeah, 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 Aura, what are you saying? What are you saying? And I think I've shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again actually. Um So I'm just going to start off with we went to, I guess, in the magical world of living in a human body, you have to do laundry, right? You have to do laundry. It's just inevitable. So there I was. Well, actually, I'm going to rewind a little bit. I'm going to rewind. Fleck, they forget we are souls. Yes. I just, I feel like a lot of people kind of forget that we are we are spiritual beings having a spiritual, or human beings having a spiritual experience. We're human beings having a spiritual experience, right? And then the aliens show up. And then the aliens come and they remind you of the spiritual experience that you're about to have. Okay, anyways, so back to topic. Um Fleck, yes, we are. And dishes too, yes. So anyway, I want to rewind. I rewind before I get to that. Um, but I was gonna say you're in a different form. You're really just in a different form, and everybody says, why are you talking to so and so, or why are you saying this to so and so? They're no longer here with us. They're dead. Well, it doesn't really work that way. And you don't really have to be a medium, and you don't really have to be a psychic to understand that either. You just have to kind of let certain things happen. So I'm going to share this as well before I jump off of here. And I'll probably share this story multiple times, of course. So before we get to the laundry scene, I'm going to say there was this instance where I I literally started talking to my mother, after she passed away. Um, and it was like I it was like a year after she passed away, and I was just talking to her, and I was like, "Hey, mom, are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me?" Maggie Smith, easiest way is to ask for them to come into your dreams. Yes. Yes. Easiest way is to ask for them to come into your dreams, or you can have an experience just like I'm talking about right now. So all right, I need to rewind a little bit. I need to give you a background story before I start sharing this story. So my mom really loved uh these uh these coffee drinks, and they a mean bean is what they're called, monster drinks. And this was I want to say that I this was, for a year she was drinking those, and I kept telling her, stop, just please stop, just stop drinking that stuff because it's horrible for you. But she did what she wanted. She did what she wanted. It was one of her favorite drinks. Mean bean, I believe it's called. Monsters. Yeah. but I can see the can, so I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, Mean Bean, and it's like a energy drink and coffee mixed together. And so anyway, it was her favorite drink. And fast forward to her transitioning and being on the other side, and um I was having an emotional, I want to say I was having a little bit of an emotional morning, you could say. And I was talking to her. I said, "Hey mom, are you there? Hey mom, are you there? Can you hear me?" And I heard some whispers here and there, but then I really got the external confirmation. I want to say a day later. It didn't happen right away, okay? Because I think that she was a little bit busy. She was definitely a little bit busy. So, I wanna say about a day later, um, I had to do laundry. Obviously, we all have to do laundry, and I had a ton of it. So, I went to a laundromat because they have these giant machines and they come in handy. I'm telling you, they have, like, these ginormous machines, and when you have a ton of it all at once, you go to one of those places, and those machines, they really know how to get the job done. uh, I'm laughing because I don't know, sorry. So I go in there and I'm washing clothes, and a homeless man walks in, and the weather outside is horrible. I mean, the weather outside was kind of horrible. It raining, and then all of a sudden it stops, and then it's raining again. And I want to say he was coherent, and he came inside, and he was asking, he kept asking several people to help him dry his coat. That's all he wanted. He wanted someone to dry his coat for him. And then he comes over to me and he says, "Hey, will you dry, can you dry this for me?" And I said, "I'd be happy to." So I put, and it was like, it wasn't a humongous coat. And it was kind of heavy because it was soaking wet, because he had been out in the rain for who knows how long. So I took his coat and I put it in a separate dryer for him to dry it out. And he looks at me and he says, you know, "What do you want in exchange? And, do you want anything?" And I was like, "No, I don't need anything. I'm okay." And he just kept pushing. "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was like, "Okay, how about," he goes, I could go, I could go get you something." And I said, "How about," I just threw something out there, and I was like, "How about a thing of apples?" And he says, "Okay, I'll go get you a thing of apples. I'm gonna walk up to the store, and I'll be right back." And I said, "Okay, sure." So he walks up the street to go get a bag of apples. And I want to say, 30 minutes go by, and I was thinking to myself, maybe he's not coming back. Like, maybe he's really not coming back. So he does come back. and his jacket was, I mean, it was dry. It was the driest I've ever seen it. So he comes back and he's got a plastic, like he's got this plastic bag in his hand, and he has the apples in this plastic bag. And he walks in and he hands it to me. And yeah, he doesn't say anything. And I hand him his jacket. I'm like, oh, here, here you go. Here you go. And he was just so grateful that he had something dry to wear, because now he has to go find somewhere to lay his head for the evening, but now he has a dry coat. So he hands me the bag and he disappears, obviously. And I looked inside of the bag, and inside of the bag was a mean bean. And I swear to you, I did not tell him to get me a mean bean. I did not tell him to get me a mean bean whatsoever. And it was the same kind of mean bean that my mother drank. So I kid you not, there are moments where you have validation that you are, in fact, communicating to those on the other side, and they are always around. They are always around. So, if you ever think for any instant or any moment of your life where a loved one has, Maggie, sometimes they are humbling as well. Yeah, so if you ever feel like you need the validation that you are in, I'm going to talk about this as well. I'm going to talk about other stuff too. Um like Ouija boards and moments where you're like, "Oh, am I really talking to so and so, or is this something else?" I'm going to start talking about stuff like that too. But sometimes they are humbling as well, Maggie. Yeah. Yes. But when I looked in that bag and I saw a mean bean in there, I swear it was the happiest moment of my life. It was the happiest moment of my life, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, Mom, for the coffee. Thank you so much for the coffee. I needed it." And I sat down and I drank it, and I had coffee with my mom. Guides and loved ones have a sense of humor. Yes, they do. They have a sense of humor, but it's they also um they're also just like, sit down. Sit down and have a cup of coffee. Sit down and have a cup of coffee with me. But as soon as I saw that in the bag, I could almost hear her. I don't want to say almost. It was almost like I did hear her say, "Come on, um, come on, Aura, sit down with me and sit down with me and have a cup of coffee with me. Have a have some coffee with me. So, um, Bianca, beautiful. Yeah, yes, very beautiful. I know I keep looking away, so I'm sorry, you guys, but I'll flip the camera around so that you can you can kind of see what I'm looking at. But I know I keep like looking away because I'm just like staring off. Sorry. There's a there you go. Oh, the stick was holding the camera up. Okay, I see what's happening now. But that's kind of what I've been like staring at since I've been live this entire time. So, and I just realized that the stick has been holding my camera up because you guys. Um, there's so much more that I want to get into on this channel. It's a wonderful place to sit. A wonderful place to sit. And no, no weirdos here. No weirdos here. Um, Bianca, yes, it is very nice. Yes. So, Maggie, you should make an effort to check in with the fairies. Their fairies are big, not Tinkerbell. To be quite honest with you, before I before I came live on here, there there are some like there are some like mystical things here in the forest, and Bigfoot is definitely one of them. But I was kind of hearing how do I say this? I was hearing like a rope snapping before I jumped on here, and I kind of affiliate that with like someone having some type of wrongful death by hanging or something like that. That's what I'm affiliating that with. So, I'm probably going to jump off here. And also I actually was looking it up, and somebody was hanged over here apparently. By the way, somebody was hanged, but not here in this spot, but definitely around here. But I might check in with the fairies. I may just do that as well. Bianca. Oh, yeah. Oh, is right. I looked it up too, and it said that there was a hanging. So like 1896, 1896-ish, 1800s, 1890s. So it was a long time ago. It's 2026. Nobody you don't hang anymore. There's different ways for that sort of thing to happen. But I'd say that that is a very interesting time to be alive, the 1800s, when they're hanging people, right? Interesting time to be alive. All right, you guys. I I'm gonna I'm gonna jump off here, but I'd love to stay. I'd love to stay, but I'm gonna jump on off here. It's so quiet. Maggie, my grandparents were born in the 1800s. Wow. You know what's so interesting? There also is there's no sense of time on the other side too. It's just like there's no sense of time on the other side as well. Hey Karen, like there's no sense of time on the other side. There really isn't. Flex, so we're mine. Wow. All right, y'all. I am I am a couple announcements before I jump off of here. I may be looking at the case with the college student, that tragically passed, and they're calling it a accidental drowning. So that is the case that I'm actually looking at right now. Maggie Smith. Mostly young people don't want to understand why relatives did what they did. Women couldn't vote until 1920. Yeah. It was a different time back then. Um, Culture was different. See ya, Bianca. See ya, Bianca. Good to have you. But yes, different time back then, different culture, different atmosphere, different just different time altogether. If that kind of makes sense. Women couldn't vote till 1920. Things are changing though. I mean, it's 2026 now, so things are changing, but it's all part of a different plan, a way different plan. So I'm gonna jump off here, and I'm gonna go get myself a cup of tea. Tea time. Yeah, I'm gonna go get myself a cup of tea. But I'm gonna jump off of here, and that's kind of really where I wanted to go with this live, and what I wanted to talk about with you all, the other side, transitioning to the other side. Um, you may have to put a timestamp on this live because I know I don't really start it until like 12 minutes in, but um so I'm gonna jump off of here. I will Maggie Smith, happy thoughts. Yes, happy thoughts. And I'll see you in my next live. But quick announcement. Flex sounds good. Happy to see you. Great topic. Happy to see you too. Yes, happy thoughts. I am looking at a case right now. It is the student that tragically passed away while on spring break. Um, I was looking to do that one, so probably see an upload from me for this weekend, and I'll see you in my next live. I do enjoy doing these. I know it's kind of slow at first. The live starts slow, but yeah. So I will see you in my next live, guys. Take care, and bye for now.